Hey there, thanks for tuning in. This is Mrs. J, and today we're going to try to create the heart cam in Fusion 360 using parametric modeling. It's a little challenging, but the results is awesome. Totally fun to use in your toy project, and just a great learning experience to create this cam. Excuse me. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. Some of the dimensions here I'm going to ignore because I want the overall shape to look good, fit well, and be able to change, make it larger, smaller later as we need it. And this is a little tricky. But the general shape is what we're going to do. The nominal diameter is actually on the outside of this cam. So here, we're going to start there and we're going to work our way around using some circle tools. All right, let's head on over to Fusion. First thing you want to do is make certain that you are in your Automata Toy project folder. Excuse me. So home button, projects, Automata Toy, you'll see everything you've done here so far. Close that up. Make sure you are in inches. You go to your initials, drop down preferences, and you can go to default units, design, change it to inches. If you do that, now you need to change to a new design, which I'm going to do also. Okay, I took away my grid. You can toggle your grid down here, put it on, put it off. I thought I'd try it out for today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is set up our parameters. We're going to modify tab, and then down to change parameters f of x. I'm going to come in here and hit plus, and we're going to do DIA lowercase, 1 inch, and nominal, I gotta spell it, diameter. You have to watch your spelling here. It's important. You have to have uppercase N, uppercase D. You have to have this all lowercase. It does matter, so that's okay. And then the next one we're going to do is the whole. We'll make this one super tiny, HOLE 0.1. We can change that later. If we're going to make this in real life, we will need to do that. Okay, and this one's going to be the whole diameter, you could say. Okay, and then one more. When we're done, we're going to extrude the heart so it's thick. That's called the cam thickness, which you'll see in all the other cam videos. And we usually make it a 1/4 inch. Actually, a 1/2 inch might look really good on this. We'll play with that later. So hit OK, hit OK. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is create a sketch. And I'm just going to do this on the front plane. However, if we did this over here, it might go nice into your box. On this plane over here, the YZ, but we'll do YX for now, the front plane. So you look at your view cube, it says front, and then you're using that side. We're going to create a hole. I'm sorry, a circle. Click the circle tool, and then let me drag it out here and see what I put for my first diameter. I think it's just DIA. Okay, so DIA, nominal diameter, hit enter twice. And then let me get this up and in front of you so we have a bigger view. Use that tool. There you go. So now I want to right click on the circle and I want to choose normal construction. Construction line is dotted and it means it's not part of the actual part that you're creating. So anything you make in here, if you send it to 3D printer, laser cut, that is invisible to any machine you might use. But it helps you set up what you need to do. So I just right clicked and I chose construction line. If you don't have these numbers on your grid, please ignore them. If your numbers are different, please ignore them. As long as you set up your parameters and you're seeing f of x is 1 inch, you're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to hit escape on our keyboard, so we're not in construction line. Hit escape twice. I always do that. I don't always say it. Then get a circle. I'm going to drop that circle over here in the corner. We're not going to worry about its size. Ignore those numbers. Click inside here, hit escape on your keyboard, and then let's see if I can get this correct. Okay, first thing we want to do is get the tangent tool, tangent constraint. Hit tangent. We're going to make this circle tangent to the construction line here. See how my mouse has a tangent little icon on it? Hit escape twice to get out of that. Okay, now we're going to throw 2 dimensions on here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side when we're done. And let me just grab those dimensions real quick. So I want, I think it's DIA divided by 5 for the first one. Okay, so we're going to get the dimension tool. We're going to touch the center of the circle and the center of the larger construction circle. Don't let it go off on a tangent there. I'm going to click here, and we're going to type in DIA divided by 5. Hit enter, and then you're good. Then we do the same thing on the side here. We're going to hit, let's see if I can get this, dimension tool, DIA divided by 8. And we're going to go center of the circle, center of the bigger circle, come out this way, DIA divided by 8, and that's enter. Okay, so let me just double check that I'm doing this correct. So DIA divided by 8, DIA divided by 5. So I'm looking on the right, even though I'm working on the left, because it's the same, right? You can sort of see that it's mirrored on either side. There's symmetry here. So diameter divided by 8 in here, diameter divided by 5 in this space right here. And that's what we just did. Okay, so that's pretty cake. We like this. So far so good. Let's see if I can get this to go. Yeah, okay. Tangent there. So I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard and get out of this. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to stretch out a little bit. Create a circle. Doesn't really matter where, just keep it inside there. It doesn't matter the size, ignore that. Hit escape. Tangent. We're going to go tangent from here to here. And then escape on my keyboard. And let's do a fun little trick here. So select dimension. We're going to do this space in between here, right? So we're going to go click the center of the circle. Click the center of the bigger circle. Come up here. And say when you click on here, it's blue. You know it's DIA divided by 5, but you know you just did that here, so why type? Click here. I clicked on the left, and it populated in here. Pretty neat, huh? Escape on your keyboard, and let's line those up a little bit. Not necessary, but looks nice, right? All right, let's do the same thing down here, see if we can do it. Center of the circle, center of the bigger circle, drag it out here. And once you see it's blue there, you click on the one you want it to match exactly. And see how that D6 popped up by itself? Hit enter twice. Otherwise, you know it was DIA divided by 8, and you could do that as well. So yeah, your dimensions are going to move as you do this, and you can fix them up to be a little bit nicer. Okay, so now we're good on either side, and we're overlapping. It's not exactly the same as what you'll see out here. The radius is off by a teeny tiny little bit, hundredths, but it's easier to model it that way, so we're good there. Okay, let's see what our next approach can be here. I think we're going to head down to the bottom, get that little curve going on the bottom. So I'm looking at here. Radius is diameter divided by 10. So we're going to grab the hole tool. We're going to come down here. Try not to get outside of anywhere. We're going to be inside and just make it any size you want. Not worry about the diameter just yet. So I want to come up here to the horizontal constraint, vertical constraint, and it's vertical that I want. Fusion is intuitive. You just click it and it knows what you're doing. So you don't have to do separate like you did in Inventor. So see my mouse there on the left? It's got both. Hit the center of the big circle, hit the center of the smaller circle, and you've got a vertical constraint. Hit escape on your keyboard twice. And then let's get this diameter going. This is going to be radius. Okay, so let's be careful here. Radius is diameter divided by 10. Let me zoom in so you can see it. And then we're going to do dimension tool. Outside of the circle, drag out. As you're dragging, before you do your next click, you may have to undo, redo. Right click and choose radius. That's important. Now I'm going to left click and I'm going to do DIA divided by 10. It should be 0.10. There you go, because an inch, divided by that. Okay, so let's see if we can do the rest. This is actually kind of fun. Escape on your keyboard twice. We're going to make sure this is tangent, even though I'm really close to the line here. I'm just going to click the line and click here. That way, if anything moves, it's going to stay put. Hit escape on your keyboard twice. See, my mouse has changed. Hit escape. And now let's add some lines out here. Okay, so use my pan tool to move around. That's a little hand down there. Hit escape. We want to grab a line tool, and we want to be outside of these circles. So I'm going to just come here and here. Ignore the length of the line. Do not bother dimensioning that. Left click, hit escape twice, get out of the line tool. I should have went a little further out. It would be easier to work with. So I'm just going to redo that real quick. I'm going to be out here, out here. Perfect. Hit escape. I want to use the tangent tool, and I want to click on the circle and my line. Did I get it? No, let me undo that. It looks like I hit the construction line. So circle and my line. Yeah, stay away from that construction line. It still counts. And then I'm still in my tangent tool. I'm going to click on this circle and here. There you go. Now I want to trim that out. So I'm going to come over to the modify tool, the scissors, and I'm going to grab up here. So see how it's still tangent to the outside here. We want to make sure we get rid of that purple right there. And then come down to the bottom here. Sorry, it's a small screen. I got to move around a little bit. Modify tab. Don't worry about warnings that pop up. They're just telling that, hey, you dimensioned something and now you're taking it away. That's not cool. It's intuitive like that, and we like that. It's just keeping an eye on what we're doing. Okay, so this side's good. We'll do the same thing on the other side, and we'll go home happy. So line tool, let's get out here out of the way. Let's go past everything. Don't worry about the dimensions. Hit escape twice. Tangent tool up on the constraint bar. Remember, you can pause the video and then do your work and come back. That's how I learned. Tangent, tangent. And even though it looks like it's touching, you want to do that tangent constraint because look, yeah. So don't skip that part. Remember, we're going to extrude later, so if you miss that spot, it wouldn't extrude. You'll get an error message. And look at, I'm glad I zoomed in because I missed that down here. That's got to go. So modified tab, server. Okay, worry about that later. Get the scissor tool, trim tool, click in here, click in there. Yeah, because it's going to the construction line. So click in here. All right, make sure you don't miss that light. Don't be me. Get that out of there. That out of there. Okay. Oh, so I do have an issue here. The fact that that is blue means it is not seeing it. So I'm going to play with that. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to try this again. Maybe I messed something up here. So let me move these guys out of the way. Let me get that line tool and try it again. I'm going to go here to here. Hit escape. I'm going to tangent this to this and tangent this to this. And then I'm going to modify. Oh, maybe I lost my tangent constraint when I did that. I see it here. Okay, I think that's what I did the first time. I may have trimmed where my tangent was. So make sure your tangent is in here somewhere. I got it this time. So it's got to be black. Your lines need to be black. If they are blue, you've got to fix something. And then I need to trim right here. See this guy? Yeah, so it looked like earlier I had trimmed outside of the tangent. So careful there. Okay, I think we're good. We need to add the little dent on the top. That's a little tricky, but we can do it. So the curvature of the heart, this guy right here, the roller radius. That's so you can put your line follower on top. Okay, so let's get this in front of us. We're just going to drop in a little circle tool. And then I'm going to drop it right around here, not too big, not touching anything. Don't worry about the dimensions. Hit escape twice on your keyboard. We're going to tangent this. So tangent constraint, touch this side of the circle and this. If it happens to overlap here and it's in your way and you can't do the next tangent, hit escape and just kind of move the circle, grab the circle and you can move it. And then hit escape, get your tangent tool, tangent. It'll resize it to fit your tangent. So that always works great. Okay, let's see what the next part is that we need to do. So we need to put in the diameter here. I'm going to use it just like we did on the bottom. So you can open it, touch the bottom, but I'm going to just put it in there. So dimension tool, drag this out, right click. Make sure you're in the radius, and I want this to be DIA divided by 10. So always a bent line on this. It's called a leader line, DIA divided by 10. A leader line because you are working with a curved object, in this case a circle. So DIA divided by 10, you'll see that your radius is 0.10. Remember that you switch to radius, don't be in diameter. You had to do that right click part. Escape twice. And then I think we just have to put the hole in the center and we're happy campers. All right, so circle tool, hit the very center diameter. I know, super messy in here. Type in hole, hit enter twice, and let's finish that sketch. Let's just leave that circle just like that. Finish that sketch. Go isometric by hitting your house, and let's extrude. Okay, this is tricky. See how it's highlighting? You've got to choose what to highlight. And you don't want that circle. You want this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And then let's just check underneath. We also want to get this guy. Once you get there, you can hit. Okay, so you can just type in depth right here, DEPTH, hit it twice, and admire your work. Don't forget to save your work. Hit the save button, heart cam. I'm going to call mine number 2 because I've been practicing. So thanks for watching and have a great